and welcome back to the channel. We've recently covered Disney's struggles with streaming, but now I wanted to delve into another topic, and that was Disney's box office bombs. So without further ado, let's get into the story. So aside from these things with the streaming issues that we see in Disney, we see this right here. And I think this is also pretty telling because this tells you that Disney doesn't have a strong slate of movies right now. Now, we know that Thor 4 got murdered in the box office, totally blown away by Top Gun Maverick this last week. And that was when it was in its 5th week, and Top Gun Maverick is like in its 12th or 13th week. So yeah, a 3-month-old movie beat the pants off of Thor, which should be having a strong run for, I don't know, at least 8 weeks, but that's not what we're seeing. So we're seeing some true box office misses from Disney and Marvel Studios this year. For example, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, it made $411 million in the domestic box office, but it's enough, and it did total worldwide 4.8 times production budget. It's still not as much as I'm sure they would have liked. It's not even going to hit $1 billion. So that's $1 billion is a good amount. This is not going to hit it, and that's worldwide box office. It just seems like a miss to me. It's profitable, yes, but it still seems like it could have done a lot better. People didn't enjoy this story, and there's a lot of reasons why. I think we know what those are now. Thor: Love and Thunder is also a similar story. Look, it's only made $326 million in the domestic box office. It's sitting at 2.9 times its production budget, meaning it's barely eked out a profit right now. And that's not great. With a $250 million budget, it needs to make $500 million. It's made $720. So yeah, has it made a profit? Yeah, but again, it's made a couple $100 million profit. That's not enough to power the Disney juggernaut. We have Lightyear. Now, Lightyear lost money. It made only 1.1 times its production budget, which means they're down the worldwide box office is $218 million for this movie. It tanked hard. You can expect that it took $400 million in total budget then in terms of production and advertising. So that's minus $200 million for Lightyear. That means Lightyear basically ate up any profit from Thor, which means we're falling back on Doctor Strange. And so Doctor Strange, is looking even more suspect at this time because now there's only $500,000 in profit or $500 million in profit, $500 million. It's a lot of money, but we're talking Disney here. We're talking about billions of dollars each quarter, right? And so those are the kind of numbers that they need to be putting in. Then Encanto, right, which was a good movie, but unfortunately it wasn't able to be released to theaters, so I think it basically just went to streaming. So obviously it didn't make any money. I don't know how these companies are making money with streaming. I guess that maybe they sold a few with their Disney Plus premium package where you can buy the movie to watch it for 30 days before everybody else can all watch it for basically free then. I don't know. In any case, yeah, this made 1.5 times its production budget, which means this was also a loss leader, essentially. Maybe they generated some subscriptions with it, but how profitable were those subscriptions? And the math is getting really fuzzy here. And then there's the Eternals. Let's not forget the Eternals. Now, I realize this came out last year, but it's affecting their 2022 box office budget because it came out at the very end of 2021, and as a result this thing only made 2 times its production budget worldwide. That's not domestically, that's everything all in, which means it just broke even. It made no money. After everything said and done, this was a $0 investment. That's why Disney is struggling in the box office, and the second half of this year and their lineup for the second half of this year doesn't look spectacular. Now, as a result, we can see here that the total domestic box office gross revenues were above $11.3 billion in 2019. Now, then we see that that fell to $2.1 billion as a result of the pandemic. It was lockdowns and all that, so nobody was going to the movies. Despite that, there has been a recovery, and in 2021, it recovered to $4.5 billion. Which is about, 30% of the 2019 figure. But so far in 2022, we haven't seen that rise a lot. It's about 5 billion. So it's not that much better. And let's keep in mind that Disney has no more strong movies to come out this year. So what are they doing? They're literally dusting off their old movies and they're going to re-release them because they don't have any movies to release in the second half of this year. They're going to release Rogue One, which is 6 years old. Now, a good movie that I enjoyed personally and is probably the best Disney Star Wars movie, in my opinion. Avatar, another good movie. I mean, some people hate it, and a lot of people argue about, whether it's really a good movie or not. At the same time, I think it's a good story. I think it was enjoyable, and it made a shit ton of money. Let's not quibble over that. So it doesn't matter whether there's a few critics over there, here or there, or anywhere on either side, right? It doesn't matter where the critic resides. People overwhelmingly enjoyed this movie, and it debuted in 2009, so it's 13 years old this year. Also, Andor, a spin-off series, is coming out, so that may be the reason why they're re-releasing Rogue One, to try and drum up some, positive PR for this. And then let's not forget that Avatar: Way of Water is also coming out at the end of the year. And so that could be a reason why, they're trying to drum up a little bit for that movie as well. That's probably the only big movie that's coming out for Disney this year. I mean, I think that one's going to make a lot of money, but most of that is going to hit their revenues next year, not this year. In addition, Sony is actually re-releasing Spider-Man No Way Home, the More Fun Stuff edition, which is a collaboration between Sony and Disney subsidiary Marvel Studios that will offer some extended scenes. But keep in mind, that is a Sony movie that's made in partnership with Marvel Studios. So yeah, not straight up Disney movie. So what does this all boil down to? Well, to me, it shows me that there's definitely some chinks in the armor at Disney. Now, is Disney getting ready to fold up and go broke because they went woke? No. I mean, look, they're suffering financially. I've laid out the reasons why. It's the economy, stupid. It's their political missteps. And it's simply the matter of fact that there's a saturated streaming market right now. And finally, it's the fact that they don't have a big lineup for the second half of this year in the movie theaters. So I think it's going to be a painful year for Disney in the end, which can explain some of these things like re-releasing old movies, and can explain things like increasing the prices of their streaming, hoping to recoup an additional $2.2 billion extra. It's probably not going to happen, but you'll lose some people along the way. A lot of people will drop down to the lower tiers if they still offer some sort of lower tier. So I think that that's a very optimistic. $2 billion is an optimistic number. In any case, what do you think? Is dismal Disney heading for disaster? Or are they going to continue to delight investors? You let me know down in the comments below. In the meantime, if you want to continue to smash the narrative, then smash the like, subscribe, and share buttons, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.